let's talk about the Jynxzi situation, okay? The Jynxzi situation is interesting because it shows you how no matter what you do for certain people, certain companies, they're going to spit in your face, okay? They're going to spit in your face no matter what. For those if there is some unbelievable chance you do not know who Jynxzi is, this is who Jynxzi is. This is a little bit of Jynxzi.
5 seconds to insertion.
I like Fortnite! Dude, 2 of them are 1 HP. 2 of them are 1 HP. I sold! Somebody just shove it in! Who is that tall, bro? Whoa! What is that C4 gonna do? No. What is that gonna do?
C4 set.
He's on the
window. He's just holding an angle, bro. She a baddie with her baddie friends.
Did he just sing a lyric? He just gave a call out, then said, "She a baddie with her baddie friends."
Okay, so that's Jynxzi, right? He's funny, he's a live streamer, that's what he does, right? And here's how he sort of got famous, right? He played a game called Rainbow Six Siege. It was pretty much a dead game when he got into it, right? It was pretty much dead, right? He was making videos on a basically dead game most of the time, but he revived it. With his like humor and stuff, he actually managed to revive Rainbow Six Siege. I think it was even #1 on Twitch for a while. I actually think it did go to #1 on Twitch, and it was he made it one of the most popular games in the world again, like it was when it was originally released. Just off him, there was really nobody else doing it but him, and he was bringing in big creators. He had speed. He had all the sidemen. He brought in loads of people to play Rainbow Six Siege with him. It blew the game up. It was massive, right? And, you know, they rewarded him, right? They gave him, like, a charm in the game that you can put on the gun. I'm sure there was some financial benefit to him with that as well, right? So, you know, they rewarded him. They recognized that he was the only thing keeping this game alive and pushing this game forward. And they rewarded him for it, okay? Because, you know, they gave him stuff. You know, they included him, right? They made it... They knew that he was the reason, and they thanked him for it, right? They weren't doing, like, appreciation posts and, you know, including him in that way. But, nevertheless, I mean, they appreciated him enough to let him financially benefit off the game that he was blowing up. Which, by the way, they didn't have to do, because if they hadn't have given the charm, so he could financially benefit from the game, he would have kept playing anyway. It was his favourite game. He was one of the best in the world on console at it, so he would have kept playing it. So it was cool of Rainbow Six Siege to do that, right? Now, what happens? What is this video about? It's about his relationship with Clash Royale, because after he was done with Rainbow Six Siege, he was kind of getting sick of it. He was kind of getting tired of it. He didn't want to play anymore, so he looked for a new game, okay? And he picked Clash Royale. Now, Clash Royale was very popular 2017, I want to say. That's when I was playing it. It was really popular, and it was a good game. It was a great game. It was fun. But it died off quickly, right? Like, I used to spend money on that game because you used to be able to get, like, these things called legendary chests, and you could buy, like, you could get, like, 2 of them for, like, £6 or, like, $10, okay? Which, compared to today, is very good value, right? Because what ended up happening was Jynxzi got back into this game, and it resurged the game completely, right? The game was dead. The game was done. No one was interested in the game anymore, right? I mean, there was still... It never lost its, like, core audience. There was still, like, the pros and the people who watched the pros. But in terms of, like, a big creator who was, like, you know, really going hard on it, didn't really exist anymore. It was gone until Jynxzi came back and revived that game too. Okay, so Jynxzi comes back, he revives the game, and what do? They just ruined the game. Okay, they absolutely ruined it. They just added so much payable content or like in-game items that you could buy. It was ridiculous. I re-downloaded the game because of Jynxzi, and the price the amount of things that you had to buy was unbelievable. Like when I played, if you put $100 into it over the entire course of your entire time playing that game, you could be very good at the game. Like you could be in the top arenas, everything, right? Now, you have to spend thousands to even be in the conversation because of the way that they have changed the game, right? They have completely ruined the game. They have turned it to absolute dog shit. And the only thing driving them up and keeping them going was Jynxzi. And Jynxzi was talking about it, right? Because they didn't care about Jynxzi, Clash Royale. Like they weren't trying to help him. They weren't giving him something. They gave him a creator code, but that's nothing, and they really fucked him, right? Because he was pushing this game forward. He was making people download this game and start playing this game again. But they were kind of screwing him over because they were making the game worse and worse and worse. And I say worse, the game was still good, but it wasn't what it was, right? It was the only things they were adding to the game were things that were going to make them more and more money, okay? They recognized that they had got the Jynxzi boost, and they were just trying to claw every single penny. Supercell were trying to claw every single penny out that they could out of this game while the boost was big again, because I think they felt that the first time round maybe they didn't capitalize on it enough. The game wasn't pay to win enough, because I remember back in the day, like if you had a professional, the pro could just outskill you, right? Even if you had good stuff, you could get outskilled. But the way the game works now is, yes, there is still the skill element to it, but if you don't have the money, it doesn't matter how much skill you have, because it's just not how the game works anymore. So clearly they didn't feel like they had cashed in hard enough on the unbelievable success that the game had the first time round. So they wanted to make sure that the second time round, they cashed in every single little penny, okay? Now, why is that an issue? Obviously it's an issue because they're scumbags, they ruined the game. But they did this, right? Jynxzi started to get kind of sick of the game. He was talking shit about the game a lot because of what they were doing. And then Jynxzi, they did this. So, basically they put this statement out. I'm going to read it out for you. Here you go. Last year I called Brawl Stars growth historic. Now I'm about to use that word again for Clash Royale. Royale's re-engaged players doubled. New players grew almost 500%. Every major measure of playtime and engagement grew significantly. And maybe most importantly, Clash Royale once again became the game to play with friends around the world. It felt like 2016 again. I want to take a moment to celebrate this because what happened deserves celebrating. A game approaching its 10th year didn't just hold on, it exploded. That's extraordinarily rare in our industry. It's proof of what's possible when a talented team relentlessly focuses on making things better for players. The obvious question, what did the team do? So I went to Alexander Sasha Markovich, general manager of Clash Royale, and became energized by what she shared. So you see the issue there, right? I mean, when asked, what was the big thing, what blew this game up again, they were like, oh yeah, we're just fucking incredible, like we're just the best. We really focused on the fans, we really focused on the players and making things better for them, because that's what we do best here at Clash Royale, because we're the shit. No, motherfucker, you didn't. You made the game terrible. You absolutely ruined the game. Fucked every single player. The only thing keeping you going was Jynxzi, who, by the way, was spending like tens of thousands on this game, like every time they release new content, right? Like, the unbelievable difference is ridiculous. Is like the fact that they actually had the nerve to do that is wild. And Jynxzi response to that was probably the biggest spit in the face I've ever seen. And it's true, they didn't even mention him. When they asked, how did you succeed so well? They didn't even mention him, right? And you've got to remember, before this guy joined, the game was a 0. No one cared, right? No one was interested in this game till Jynxzi. And as I am sure you can imagine, now Jynxzi has moved on, okay? He is no longer Clash Royale's pay pig, okay? He's moved on. He's playing Rocket League now. And the same thing has happened. Rocket League has gone through the roof. Now, the difference is, Rocket League has decided not to be cunts to Jynxzi. They've decided to be good. I think they even did an appreciation thing for Jynxzi. Because he had boosted the game. Because Rocket League was kind of it never lost all of its popularity. It was like really big when it first came out. Then it kind of died off, but it always kept like a good audience, and now it's back to where it was when it first came out because Jynxzi has just revamped it again. But this is just a lesson, right, to game companies. Maybe show a little bit of appreciation to the people who make your games, the people who revive these things. Maybe don't be such a piece of shit to the fans, the people watching, to the creators who literally give you everything. Maybe this is a lesson to them, right? Because they could still be getting the Jynxzi boost right now. But instead, they're going back down again. The game is hitting a big fucking, it's hitting one of these. So that should be a lesson to everyone. There's definitely a lesson to be had here. Appreciate what you've got while you got it. Because, Jynxzi could just move on whenever he feels like it. And your game's going to go to shit again if you're a prick and if you ruin the game. So there you go. I thought it was interesting to actually... Because I remember just watching Jynxzi throughout all these times, the Rainbow times, and then the Clash Royale, and then now with Rocket League, I kind of watched him the whole way through, and yeah, I thought it was a really interesting thing that they had done by just shooting themselves in the foot in the way they had. So there you go.